Hi friends, today we're diving into Samantha Ravindal's new makeup line, Auric. This just came in today and therefore this video will be a first impressions, but I of course will continue to use the products, take any b-roll, maybe update you and to get ready with me. The possibilities are endless. Also, if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things, all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. And also, if it's your first time here and you see the length of this video and you just want to click away, don't you dare. I have timestamps down below that are designated by the time blocks you see here on the bar, so skip to whatever portion you wish to see. And even though this is a first impressions, I get quite detailed and comprehensive with even a first impressions. Lots of demos, product comparisons, and product details will be on the way, so I will see you in whatever you wish to see or not see. Any biases that I have? Not really. I watch Samantha. I think she has a really dry sense of humor that I enjoy, and watching those videos and knowing what her makeup aesthetic is, where she evolved into using a lot of cream highlight products because she loves that glow and luminosity, and I therefore think very appropriate for Samantha to come out with a product like the Glow Lust Radiant Luminizer. Mama likes luminizers, okay? She loves them. And there are several methods that you could use this Glow Lust with, and that's why I want to present as many as possible, just so we could get a full feel of the product and its capabilities. I bought 4 shades, and you're like, really? That is a waste of product? No, it's not if I use it, okay? But I also know how it's tough nowadays, since, I mean, even pre-quarantine or now quarantine, this is not available in stores. And if you wanted to see someone of a similar complexion as you try on several shades, that's why I bought them, okay? I also bought all 3 of the Smoke Reflex, and that's the box here. And let's go, you know what? Let's start with what Auric is all about, shall we? I am on the website right now with beautiful Samantha. It says golden together. There's an old saying, gold is where you find it. I have my Auric earrings on, by the way. Not officially, but in my head. So sorry. Which means that value is determined by each person individually. To us, gold is found when we lift each other up and work together. We believe in accepting, encouraging, and promoting all different versions of beauty. That's how we grow and thrive artistically and creatively. The official definition of Auric is derived from gold, but based on our beliefs, Auric really means golden together. I love the brand philosophy. I'm down with that. Samantha has expressed several times in many videos how if she ever wanted to release a brand or brands that she admires, hold inclusivity as top priority. And this is something she also wanted to achieve with her brand. Glow Lust, here we come. The photographs are phenomenal. This is these people's skin, okay? I'm feeling quite blemished, but whatever. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shades. Currently, Morganite, the lightest shade offered, is sold out, as well as Goldstone sold out. Before we continue, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. Again, here is the box that the product comes in. Beautifully designed box. I'm getting crystal, okay, like alternate reality vibes. Each Glow Lust retails $45, but you get a lot of product in here. We're looking at a total of 35 milliliters or 1.18 fluid ounces. We have a suggested shelf life of 12 months. Oh, and it's made in Italy. Highlight, smooth, hydrate. Innovative polymers brighten and hydrate full skin for a healthy, natural glow. Wear alone, mix with complexion products, or finish your look for a long-lasting radiance. Cruelty-free, never tested on animals, gluten-free, fragrance-free, and paraben-free. For those who lust for luminosity, packed with ultra-fine pearl and skin-loving mix of squalene, glycerin, and porcelain flour. This artistry-grade, adjustable formula gives you instant radiance and hydration. And suggested usage, again, you could apply to clean skin or mix with your favorite skincare product for an all-over glow. Blend 1-2 pumps to your favorite complexion product for a boost of radiance or more coverage. For highlighted luminosity, apply to the tops of cheekbones, the temples, and a little bit on the bridge of the nose. And lastly, can be also worn on neck and décolleté for a sexy glow. Again, I bought 4 shades because, you know, I just want to dive in deep, okay? Selenite is a light warm beige. Pyrite is a medium olive. Citrine is medium warm. And Goldstone is medium deep warm. I'll first focus on the glow lust for now, and then we'll get into the smoke reflect later on in the video. Does that sound like a plan? Okay, thank you so much for agreeing with me. The packaging is quite luxurious. Glass bottle, and Samantha had also explained she's all about environmentally friendly, sustainable types of packaging, and glass definitely, although more expensive, a lot easier to recycle than plastic. The top, you have a brushed matte black covering, Auric on the top with this mirrored gold finish, and you have like the drip going down the bottle, indication of just golden liquid, you know, that feel. You have the shade here on the back, and I like that even though the glass is frosted, you can still see the shade pretty well. Now, from the ones that I purchased, I noticed that there's a huge jump between Pirate and Citrine. This is Citrine, this is Pirate. I had a hard time deciding which one will be my all over go-to shade, and judging from these swatches, definitely Pirate. So because Samantha had suggested that we apply this with our skincare, I already have moisturizer on, but let me get some more. Hang tight. For now, let's go in with the Good Molecules, which is my moisturizer of choice. And alongside that, I'm going to go in with Pirate, which was, I believe, described to be medium olive. Do a little something there. So this is the mixture that we're dealing with. And I think I'm just gonna go over with my fingers. So I do think this an appropriate match color wise. Let's see here. I love the fact that there's no fragrance and it doesn't smell like product either. You know how some products have like that no fragrant label, but it smells like something going on. Ooh, I do feel glowy. Very lightweight in texture, and as I was swatching, it's super emollient, but it's not overly greasy or heavy feeling. In combination with my Good Molecules, I think it left behind a beautifully plush texture, really elastic in feel. And I feel the actual dry down, although very luminous in terms of the effect, very satiny in feel. If you have normal to oily skin, I do think Samantha had all skin conditions in mind when formulating, but it's tough to make everyone happy. So if you typically do not wear any luminizer product whatsoever all over your face because you're super oily, I do think this product very much appropriate for your highlighting purposes. Maybe skip this step and just apply it on your cheekbone. I'm in front of natural light, but I turned on my glam core just so you could get the overall effect. My blemishes still show, but I don't care. How the complexion looks, however, overall, quite beautiful. Going in with Citrine, I think Citrine might be more suitable for me to apply on the perimeters of my face. Taking my Koiro Makiko brush that I washed, I'm shocked at myself even. Maybe let's place this on the perimeters. So you could detect that warmth. It almost reminds me of what Agave did to me from the Chantecaille cushion. I mean, this is very warm, perhaps more appropriate for the glam girl Chelseas of the world. I think that's my standout observation that I'm making now in this first impressions, from Pirate to Citrine, more so in undertone than in shade maybe, because if you're slightly deeper than me but you're not quite this warm, I don't know if Pirate will work for you. That's my only concern if you wish to wear it as an all-over color, like an all-over luminizer. But in terms of how it blends, seamless, effortless to apply, doesn't again leave behind a greasy texture on the skin. And despite its luminous finish, I think pretty blurring on the face. Now, I went on a tangent about the Pat McGrath highlighter. I do have, you know, I have skin, I have texture. I'm not expecting this to completely annihilate it, but as you saw when I turn on the light, that reflectivity definitely has a blurring effect on the complexion. So if that's something that you're looking for, hooray. Going into Goldstone, because I wanted to try this product with underpainting, meaning you apply all your highlight and contour first before your foundation apply your foundation afterwards and that highlight will show through. Something I also learned from Danessa's workshop. She has a lot of highlight products and she highlights the heck out of the complexion first and then applies her Vision cream cover after. But I prefer this one because a lot of her Illuminate veils, they're very thick and they do have some bigger shiny particles in there that you will have to use her beauty oil with to get more zhuzh from the formula. So Goldstone definitely has a little more depth. Do I prefer Citrine or Goldstone for my contour or bronze? I might just have to mix them both. Turned off the glam core just to get a better representation of the texture. Not bad at all. I like how it looks. The blend is beautiful. The finish outrageously gorgeous. We're looking glowy Joey. I like it. Next phase into the demo, we're gonna wipe this off and start again. Mixing the Auric with the foundation. Question is, what foundation should we have the pleasure of using? Gotta go in with the Suqqu. I mean, really, was that even a question? I could also go in with the Shiseido Radiant Lifting. That has been a huge favorite this month. You know what? Why don't I just mix both of them together? That's probably the best thing to do. Yeah. Taking a little bit of Suqq's The Cream Foundation in 35, mixing in the Shiseido Radiant Lifting in Maple. I'm gonna start with that. This is the Shiseido, this is the Suqqu. Dirty nail. And now with Pirate, a little bit, and Sam also explained that she doesn't like caps that easily fall off in the bag and whatever. This is very snug. I would be careful though, I wouldn't go too hard with it. All right, mixing time. I'm gonna do one side because I wanted to try underpainting on this side again. A nice clean Chikuhodo T11 foundation brush. I'm gonna start slapping that on. And just for complexion sake, I'm applying the Shiseido Gel Stick Concealer in 302. Here's both the Suqqu and the Shiseido mixed with Auric's Glow Lust in Pirate. I don't think it negatively impacted the coverage of the foundation whatsoever. In fact, it provided more luminosity without feeling greasy or heavy on the skin. I do appreciate a little boost of radiance from the product when added to the foundation, and it was pretty seamless to mix. It didn't break apart, it didn't separate weird, and I'm just dabbing a little more here on where I need more coverage. And again, I don't feel either the Suqq's or Shiseido's formula being compromised by mixing in the Glow Lust. In fact, they melted beautifully together. And here is the effect. This is what we're looking at. Turning on the glam core just so you can get a little more light here on the luminous finish. I am curious to see, however, if I mix together Suqq's foundation with Citrine and how drastically warmer I will look. Taking a little bit of that. So here's Suqqu and here's Glow Lust in Citrine, and this is the shade we're dealing with. So here is the leftover from the first concoction. This is what we're looking like for complexion shade number 2. Oh yeah, we got a little tan. Citrine on this side with 035. I'm gonna put on the light. Yes, I do detect a little bit of warmth. The Pirate, definitely, if you're my complexion shade, is the way to go if you want to stay truer to your complexion and overall undertone. But I do welcome Citrine as an alternative if I wanted a little more warmth, a little bit of golden, okay? Ideally, I would mix it in with Pirate so that more medium olive undertone can just kind of adjust warm tint from Citrine. But I ain't mad at it, yeah? So I'm happy that I did this because I could still use Citrine, okay? Might have to use the foundation shade that's on the lighter side. Like perhaps in addition to the Suqqu foundation, I could probably apply Citrine with Shiseido's self-refreshing formula in Oak, which is a little bit lighter than Maple. So that could be another possibility. Let's keep this on. Go in with Goldstone. I know I wanted to do the underpainting, but I don't know how my face is going to take all this taking on and off. Let's go in with the Goldstone using my Koyudo brush again and just popping it on the hollows like I did on bare skin. And I'll do this side also so we could get a little more even. Here's Goldstone on the pyrite side. I keep saying pirate. I am so sorry, Samantha and everyone. And here is on the citrine side. And I didn't mention this in the beginning. All these names are names of crystals, which I think is a lovely way to go about it and all. Not too bad. I'm looking bronze. Let's do one more white. And considering the fact that I did not apply any moisturizer after the first takeoff, this is very moisturizing, but lightweight still. It doesn't feel like I'm applying oil on my skin. Back in with Goldstone first on the hollows and also around the temples. And why not down the jaw as well. Going in now with Selenite, the lightest of the shades that I purchased. This for me is definitely going to be a highlighter. So let me apply that first now before I apply the foundation. And I'm using my finger to make that happen. It beautifully blends into the skin and really nice application with the finger. But you see the drastic difference between Selenite and Goldstone. Why not? Why don't we go in with Shiseido Self-Refreshing and Oak, but I'll mix in a little bit of the Citrine as well as Pyrite. I keep wanting to say. So here we have the Shiseido, Pyrite, and Citrine. Mix that together, and this is the shade that we get. Dabbing back in with my Chikuhoro T11 over everything. Dab on some concealer. I also sketched out some brows because they were feeling left out of the party. Very happy with how this turned out. I like how I can still see a little bit of the Goldstone from underneath. I appreciate that golden bronze feel it brings to my complexion. But what really astounds me is the fact that these tones do work really well together. The Oak foundation, I feel, plays a beautiful vehicle for Pyrite and Citrine to work with. It gives the foundation beautiful movement, but it doesn't, again, sacrifice coverage. And if you insist on applying more coverage, I would just go over those portions that need a little more, but you don't have to go crazy with it. However, I think the whole point of this product is that its luminous radiant benefits is what creates that blurring effect on your imperfections. And I'm not one to completely cover them. I definitely rather them show through a little bit than cover them completely, because that's when the makeup can look a little more artificial and heavy on the skin. Again, this product allows more adjusting. It has really nice ebb and flow. And because of that, you have a lot of freedom in terms of how you apply it over and under the foundation, with the foundation, as again the product details describe. And Selenite is nice. I'm gonna put a little bit more, dare I say, I think I prefer it to be applied first, and then of course foundation over. I'm taking the same Chikuhoro brush and dabbing it on the cheekbones here. That's some nice glow indeed. Checked out how the complexion looked in the bathroom mirror whilst wetting this sponge, and it's not bad. Here's a quick close-up of the texture. Now, do be careful, because the more product you apply, the more of a risk you run into seeing your texture. But again, this is, you have peach fuzz, I have pores. I don't feel like, you know, this product is going to erase it because it's my actual skin, you know. I will have to shave it or wax it or what have you. But again, I appreciate the tones of the Glow Lust luminizers, how it combines with my foundation. Overall, though, a good technique is to take a clean beauty sponge. This is from BK Beauty. Shout out to Lisa J and the team for sending this over. That definitely will lessen the effect of texture if you feel you want less. However, I want to go back in with Selenite and see how this applies with a sponge on the cheekbones. So taking this, the side of the sponge, and it's just so much faster to get it on with a sponge. And I know I rarely use them because I get lazy about cleaning them every day, but that's a surefire way to get a beautiful application in seconds that looks seamless and just melts beautifully into the skin. And if you're my complexion again and you wanted this for highlighting purposes, like high points of the highlight for your complexion, Selenite definitely is the way to go. And once more, I know this is the last demo before we go into the smoke reflex. I'm mixing Citrine and Goldstone together, and I want to just see how this looks with the sponge application in the hollows. So I'm pinching here and pressing this into the hollows of the cheeks, and perhaps a lighter application than what my Koyudo brush was dropping on my skin, because again, the brush is going to pick up more product. And using a beauty sponge with a luminizer like this just allows a little more versatility, because I could turn the sponge on its side, blur out the edges where I went too far down with Citrine and Goldstone, and then go back in to build the color more if I wanted closer to my ear area. Not too bad. I have a lot of glow lust on my face, okay fam? We applied the foundation too. I turned on the glam core, and this is how everything looks. What do you think? Texture's bomb, I gotta say. I know I said we were gonna go into the smoke reflect. I wanted to quickly compare, however, the Charlotte Tilbury. When that came out, I was a little late to the game actually. I didn't buy that product right away. When I did, however, that really changed my glow game. It did. Perhaps one of the best complexion products in terms of, yes, giving that filtered effect, having something to mix with your foundation, apply under your foundation and over. I mean, Samantha loved this product, so I feel this played a huge role in her inspiration. This is in 3 light medium. There you go. We have Selenite and we have Pyrite. The Charlotte Tilbury, I think, is one of my favorites because it's a little warmer than Selenite, and it still appears as like a highlighter on me. And both products have a similar feel in regards to their texture and their dry down. Next up, we have the Charlotte Flawless Filter in 5 Tan next to Citrine and Goldstone. Again, this one I think is a better match for me. I probably could have gone, I think it's medium 4, and she also came out with more in between shades. That's the shade that I wouldn't need to mix. For instance, you saw I had to mix Citrine with Pyrite just so I could get like a nice balanced tone. Citrine with Goldstone, maybe to turn down Goldstone a little bit. Tan 5, I sometimes apply all over my face and it gives me warmth, but not with the same intensity as Citrine. And again, light medium 3 just has more of a beige undertone than Selenite does. And of course, Pyrite, I'll do again, is I think a true olive. So if anything, she nailed Pyrite. It's a more neutral, more olive, definitely a beautiful tone. I think tough to formulate overall. And in terms of the packaging, they're both made of glass, but I actually prefer Charlotte's because it's so much easier to take out, whereas as much as I appreciate Samantha's efforts in ensuring this doesn't come out willy-nilly in your makeup bag, sometimes it's tough to take out more than others. Let me see this one. Like Selenite has a little more pressure on there. However, this is more pro appropriate because this Charlotte Flawless Filter has a doe foot that really you should be applying on a palette, not directly on the client's face, because you contaminate the product, whereas Auric's bottles is pump, so you just pump either on the back of your hand or a palette. The product inside the bottle will not become contaminated. Those are the pros and cons in regard to the packaging, and you can clearly see the texture of the formula very similar. Does one have more glow than the other? It's tough to say. I think they are on par with each other in regards to the dry down and the glow. It really now is just a matter of which shade match is best for you. If you feel Auric's shade offerings, as beautiful as they are not quite there for your complexion, then sure, Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter might have an alternative that will be better for you. Now let's get into the Smoke Reflect. This comes in 3 shades, 2 of which are sold out. Defiance is sold out and Temper sold out. So sorry. The box design is the same as the Glow Lust design. Again, crystal feeling like. This product retails for $39. It weighs in at 1.65 grams for the powder and the cream 5 grams. Suggested shelf life of 12 months, and it is made in the USA. Paraben free, cruelty free, gluten free, and artistry grade. Heads will turn with these eye-catching shadow duos. Create creamy matte or metallic glitter looks with 2 luxe formulas in a single gorgeous package. Under the lid top is a light reflecting micro glitter eyeshadow infused with high shine pearls. Inside the glass is a smooth long wear creaseless cream shadow. And my friend brought this to my attention that this looks exactly like Tom Ford. And now the only reason I say that is because if you have Tom Ford and you were wondering the same thing, this is the cream powder duo where you have the cream shadow underneath, whoa, and you have the flip top with the fun shade under, and Auric's Smoke Reflect. A lot more luxe, I have to say, because the base is glass. Here's the base. You got frosted glass and same twist off. This is where the cream product rests. You got your Auric plastic lining, which is, you should keep this so it keeps the cream from drying out quickly. There's your cream product, very looking like a mousse. Auric here in the mirrored gold chrome finish on the matte brushed black top. And here you have your reflect shade. Comes in with the mirror, you know, for a nice eyeball mirror. There you go. I believe the role for the Smoke Reflect is to be a one and done type of a gig. If you're one to not apply like 5 shadows at once, like myself, this is a great offering if you want like the party on your lids without you needing to apply 1,000 things. First up, we have Defiance, which is the bronze gold duo. Really nice texture, and the cream does dry down to like a matte in terms of its grip and staying power, but it doesn't dry flat. There's really nice luminosity to the shade, really great radiance. Next up, we have Temper, which is a rose gold. Now, I think the topper shade for Temper is a little more scattered. It doesn't have the same oomph as Defiance. This one I thought swatched a lot better, whereas Temper is just more of a lighter base. Think more appropriate to apply, especially this one on top of the cream, which is what I did here. But the actual shade of Temper, definitely rose gold, leaning on me a little plum. It reminds me of Forbidden Fruit from Pat's latest Eternal Eden. And now we have Ego, which is the smoke party shade. That's a beautiful charcoal gray, described to be a silver. So here we go. We got the silver on top, and let's see how it looks on its own. Swatched a lot more like Defiance than Temper. Really nice shine there. And again, really easy to just apply over the cream shadow to give it more glitz. But the actual shade of Ego, the cream shadow, is beautiful. Like, I love deep silvers, not your traditional sterling silver, which is a lot lighter and brighter. But this is just beautifully smoky. If you want to take a look at the Tom Ford, this one is Fleur Neige. This, I believe, kind of reminds me of Ego, except Ego has a lot more silver in it. And unfortunately, my Fleur Neige is starting to dry out. But that's more of like a pewter shade. And Reflection is also bronze, but lighter. So I'll put it next to Defiance. That's the cream shade, but the topper shade is actually deeper, which is, you know, kind of, it's like backwards, you know, as opposed to what we're used to. So you probably could get something similar if you already have Reflection from the Defiance if you didn't grab Defiance. But the problem with these types of products, as you saw from the Tom Ford, if you don't use them often, and I think also the cream formula in both products, very similar to Charlotte's Eyes to Mesmerize, any of those products you have to be really careful that you store well, because eventually after the suggested shelf life presented, they will begin to dry out. I think you should be able to at least maybe spray your brush after you picked up some product, or maybe use a spatula to place it on a palette or the back of your hand to rehydrate it a little bit so it could get more slip. And it's very helpful to keep these plastic linings in there because it helps any air that sneaks into the packaging out of the product. Getting a little closer. I think a perfect task for our Esom V29 brush. Synthetic, but not super small, so we could get this product on in a jiffy. Picking up some of Defiance and just pulling it across the lid. Really nice texture. It has a little more grip than the Charlotte. The Charlotte Eyes to Mesmerize, I think, is more moussey in texture and could slip away from you quickly. That's why I would suggest you would go in with a little product at a time. But this one is very easy to apply. It doesn't slide around as much as Charlotte's Eyes to Mesmerize. And Defiance is a beautiful shade. It's a bronze with a little bit of depth. Esom W21 with that same cream shade. Now pulling it across the lash line, just bringing it in and around the lid. That is Defiance on its own. Let's see how it looks with a little bit of the reflect just on the inner corner, and I'll see how this picks up with a brush. W21, I thought picked up quite enough, at least just for the inner corner. And now with the finger, placing that on the center of the lid. So they got a little reflect, okay? I think pretty easy to apply. The texture is really nice, user-friendly, beginner-friendly for sure. And if you want, you could add more glitz by applying the topper shade, or you can skip it altogether if you want something more satin matte. Because we applied Defiance with a brush, let's go in with Temper now with a finger. You know, we'll present the scenario. You got no brush, you got nothing. You just got your smoke reflect, okay? Taking some, but actually I'm gonna tap off the excess and then go in on the lid. I would say pretty easy. I brought it way too high, unfortunately, on my brow bone. Oops. I'm switching hands because my nails unfortunately getting a little too long on my right. It's much easier for me to use this hand. Because I love shadow under the lash line, I will use a brush to apply the cream shadow here. That is tempered with the cream shadow on its own. Go in with the reflect shade. I'm going just straight into the lid, or onto the lid rather. Hello, Grammar. I find this reflect one is harder pressed and a little tougher to pick up, but they eventually get there, you know? So that is a more rose gold as it's described to be. Again, I would consider this to be a little more plummy plum, but that's pretty. All right, took that off. Going in now with Ego. I'm definitely going to use a brush with Ego. I'm sure you could get away with a finger application, as I feel that was the intention when formulating this product. Ideally with a finger application, just, you know, to highlight its ease of use. Back in with my Esom V29, however, picking up Ego and applying that on the lid. Definitely picked up too much, so I applied some on the back of my hand. But I want you to see the shade. It's very pretty and a beautiful shade to wear on its own for like that party eye. This time I'm grabbing my Esom W23 for a really smoky lower lash line. Like, I want this to be smoky. Feathering out the edges here, and then go in with the finger to further tap it out. If you think you went too far, go in with the foundation brush or sponge that you use to apply your complexion products with, just to clean up the edges. That is how the Ego cream shadow looks by itself. Let's roll in now with the topper glitzy shade. Definitely applying this on the lid. That's very pretty. This is for sure a one and done evening eye, most definitely. I appreciate the tone. A deep silver is a great way to go if you don't want to roll into the browns and the black shades, if you feel those are like too boring, what have you, but you still want that smoke. This is a good color. Going back in with Defiance, I want to see if I could build up a little more depth here with this bronze shade, because you can layer this product successfully. As you see, you could be really light with it, or if you want more color from it, more depth, layer appropriately for the intensity you wish to achieve. So we definitely bumped up the Defiance, okay? Put a little more of the reflect here. Very nice. Let's put on some mascara. Here's a wide look of all the Glow Lust luminizers on my face with the Smoke Reflect in Defiance and Ego for the finished look. I really enjoy the Glow Lust products. I know I had mentioned before that this is a first impressions, but I think I've used enough complexion products to know right off the bat if it's going to work for me or not. I appreciate the thoughtful formula. You're getting the glow, the radiance, the luminosity without the heaviness, without the texture, the over emolliency that I feel can often happen with these glow products. Very easy to use, very versatile in terms of the several ways you can apply it, with the several tools you could apply it with, as well as how many other complexion products you can blend it in with, including your skincare. Nice to know that this this product presents a wide spectrum of techniques and uses, and I think offers a lot of opportunity for many makeup wearers, whether you are a beginner or you just don't like to wear a lot of makeup but you appreciate a nice glow, okay, to the makeup enthusiasts like myself, all the way through the professional. I think this product can find itself in a lot of collections, in a lot of makeup lifestyles, and it just fits beautifully in there. In regards to the Smoke Reflect, I think they're really nice duos. The texture definitely is a little more, it doesn't have the same slip as the Charlotte Tilbury, definitely has a little more grab, but I think because of that, a little easier to apply. If you're using a brush to pick up the product from the pot, you definitely have to, you know, make sure it's on the bristle, because you'll just be there all day. Or scoop out with the spatula to ensure you get enough product. The texture of the cream shadow, again, is not so fluid but not so dry either. It's a really nice combination of textures. The Defiance Reflex shade, the rose gold one, I believe, no, Temper. That's the harder press out of the three, and it doesn't have, I feel, the same impact as the Defiance shade or the Ego shade. Beautiful nonetheless, but probably the weakest out of the three. Dare I say, as much as I love bronze, Ego's fighting hard for first place, okay? I think this tone is so beautiful for a glam look, but as you saw, it just comes from one product. We applied this just on the lid. I didn't apply any primer. Right now, it is only 2:36, so in a few hours I'll let you know how this shadow wears without primer, what the staying power is in the formula solo. I'm happy I got all three. I think all three shades are ones that I would wear. Overall, I think everything that I've tried in this first impressions video hit. In terms of the shades, again, that huge jump from Pyrite and Citrine might be a little troublesome. Auric is a small brand still. You know, who knows if they thought about that and they felt, listen, 7 is enough. 7's all we can do right now. If you feel stuck between those two shades, I will then rely on your foundation to adjust the color a little bit. If you're deeper than me, but you feel like Citrine's undertone is not for you, then definitely choose a foundation that's more neutral in undertone, so the overall shade can adjust itself and it won't look so overly warm on you. And if you're around my shade but warmer golden and the undertone from Pyrite is too neutral for you, then I would rely on a warmer foundation to mix with the Pyrite Glow Lust again to adjust the shade. Let me know if you plan to pick up anything from Auric. A huge congratulations to Samantha releasing your own brand and everything that goes along with it. I'm not even gonna think about it. So you go, friend. Let me know, friends, if you plan on picking up anything from Auric. I'll see you in the comments down below. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review, tutorial, Glow Lust Luminizer Extravaganza, monthly favorites, or nightly life chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.